Hey there, this is Zachary,
And I'm Jay.
the hosts of Fear and There.
Thanks so much for listening to the following podcast on Public House Media.
We can all do so much more together than we can ever do alone. Hello, welcome to Choose to Rise. I'm so grateful that you're back with me today and that you are here talking about how we can ask for help. We are not meant to do life alone, and we are not meant to carry all of the burdens ourselves. And so I want you to know that we can all do so much more together than we could ever do alone. And if you've ever shied away from asking for help because of fear that it might seem weak or that you aren't alone, the sad irony is that it's during these times that we need to ask for help the most, and that we should not be crawling into a hole, but we should be crawling towards others and being in community with other people. I know that we have been living in a really tough time. Like the whole 2020 has just sent us into this whole tailspin of feeling like we need to be able to, do for ourselves, or that there's just so much going on around us. And I'm really starting to think that this world is just a place for us to really learn that we need each other more than we think we need them, right? This whole year has just been pushing us into smaller pockets, just taking away the distractions and really taking away all of the chaos in our life. And for some people, it's ramped up the chaos. There's been sickness, there's been protests, there's been injustices, there's been crime, there's been hate thrown everywhere. But what you really need to know is that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay for you to know and take care of yourself in a way that you know that you need to. You don't have to carry this burden by yourself. When you don't ask for help when you need it, you assume all of that burden might easily and gladly be shared. But you also deprive those who love you to assist you in the opportunity to do so. And if you have been really generous helping other people in the first place, you are in a great position to be asking for help as well. I really think about those who help others are among the first helped when they need it. If you've built relationship capital by consistently helping other people and being generous and giving, and that having that give and take community, it makes for the brightest work. In fact, the desire to repay helps appear to be hardwired in the human species. And the norm of reciprocity is also powerful, that you can generally expect help if you've helped other people. This also kind of just takes away from some of that mindset of I'm not worthy of other people's concern, or I'm not worthy of other people's time and energy to help me. No, you are. And especially if you've been helping other people and you've been helpful yourself. So, it's not a now I owe them, but it's more of when helping is a natural part of your life, you inoculate yourself from some of the aversion. This is maybe God's way of keeping us from being jerks, right? This is how you build a community and culture of give and take. And it grows layer by layer until we have a well-connected group of helpers who are sincerely glad to do so. Stephen Covey calls this sowing goodwill. And there is a lot worse things that I can think of that we can cultivate in this world. So when you are feeling like you can't ask for help, the best thing you can do is go help someone else. I have this quote on my desk when I was at school that said that almost the exact same thing, right? To forget your troubles, go help someone solve theirs. And it puts you into a position of gratitude. It puts you in a position of thankfulness, and it gives you the opportunity to serve so that you feel better about being served. The second thing that I can share with you about asking for help is to get really specific. Know what you're asking for. And sometimes this can be kind of hard because we are in a tailspin of maybe your world is imploding and you just don't know what to ask for. And so this is where I would speak to those of you that are in the serving mindset right now, that if you see a friend or you see someone near you kind of in that tailspin moment, be specific in your service, right? Don't just ask what is it that I can do for you? Because they just don't know. But if you are that person, just to be something specific. What is it that you would need in that moment? And then do that specifically for them. Or maybe give them options, right? Like, can I bring you a meal? Can I take your kids for a couple hours while you think? Like, give them a couple specific options and help them make that decision. Now, if we're flipping it the other way of you asking for help, now it's a thinking process of really getting super clear on what it is that you need to ask for. You need to ask for help for. And so this comes from steps from a professor at Michigan, Professor Wayne Baker at the University of Michigan, and he's giving us these 5 ways that we can ask for help. And one, asking and being super specific, he says, ask smartly. Many requests are so poorly worded, it's difficult to respond. So rather than ask in a way that confuses people, right? Like, I just need more help, or I just don't know what to do. Like, you got to be super specific. There's you just being really clear on exactly what it is that you need to have. You have to have a very clear ask. And it also needs to be meaningful. Why do you specifically need this? What are specifically you're going to gain from it? What's a specific action-oriented piece that someone can do? A generic, can you help me, followed by with a sure, can equal nothing real quick. So the more specific you can get with what you're needing, the more grateful the people that are trying to help you will feel, because it's the most direct line for your need to the solution. The next one is that it's got to be super real, right? So you need to be authentic, not made up. Folks are going to see right through that made up story and that crying wolf situation. So don't create a toxic cycle in that. Make sure that you have a real need that you're asking for, and people will jump to the opportunity to support you if possible. The last one is time bound. When do you need this by? Again, eliminate every vague factor and help you become crystal clear in the ask. And that will sometimes feel super forward. And I know, like, when we have had the derecho situation here in Iowa in the Midwest, just the kind of the Iowa nice has kind of fallen into play. And people are like, I just don't know. I don't want to seem pushy. I don't want to seem ungrateful. And no, people just want to know, like, they need to be given specific direction. Like, and if now is not a good time, that's okay too, because we really just want to help you. And if we don't have, there's not a specific ask for in the moment, we'll go find someone else to help, and we're not offended. We just generally want to help. So make it time bound. When specifically does this need to be done? People prefer clarity and guidelines and deadlines more than vague statements as a whole. So you're making it easier for the people trying to help you, not harder. And the 4th tip is, don't assume that you know who or what people know. Underestimate what others can do and will do. Help us, a common mistake. Truthfully, you don't know the extent of what anyone knows or how they can help you until you ask them. So when you aren't sure where to turn, as opposed to some scenarios when you know exactly what to ask, a specific request delivered to a pool of potential helpers can yield extraordinary results, right? So making sure that you're having a specific ask, but also don't assume that people know what you're struggling with. We're not mind readers. We're all distracted by our own stuff. We all have things going on in our lives, but that doesn't mean we're not willing to help. That doesn't mean we're not willing to drop what's going on and, put our blinders on and really focus in on you for a little while, because you're our friend. We want to help you. We want to encourage you. And so finding this place where you can be very clear on what it might be, and then sharing that with other people, giving a little background history to it. So people, one, kind of know that real time-bound and situation in there, but they also know that, why you really need this, right? The 5th one is to create a culture where asking for help is encouraged. This is where, if you're a parent or a community member, a teacher, anything like that, if you have any sort of influence on anybody, really, you don't even have to be any of those things I just said, but make it easy, ask for and give help by setting the tone, norms, and practices in your environment. Wherever you are at, whatever group you are connected to, you be the person that sets the tone. You coach your colleagues and your friends and your children from the get-go to expect to need help. Ask for it and give it, and make it a regular practice for yourself and to model for other people, rather than reinforcing impossible standards of this like self-reliant situation. Write a new story for your little world around you, and it will start to bleed out in others. It's that compound effect situation where if you start making a change, and if you start having different expectations, other people have those expectations too, and it will continue to snowball into impacting a heck of a lot more people. And so if you're struggling with something and if you are in need of some help, I want you to get super smart in your ask. I want you to be able to really get in there and know. I want you to, earn your responses by being a good human being in the beginning, right? Know specifically what you want to ask for. Be smart in your requests. Don't assume that people know what's going on in your life. And, create that culture in the forefront or even afterwards to, create a lifestyle of encouraging and supporting and helping people, because, God really wants us to be helpers. He's put us all here on this earth to work together. We're not supposed to be so divided. And really, I feel like that's the big lesson of 2020. Bring us all back together, help each other, and really become the best versions of ourselves in this process. There are some situations in life where we need to ask for help that our best friend cannot help, or that our spouse or our mom cannot fix for us. There are situations where we need to have some sort of professional help, or there are situations where, we need to have a bigger agency involved, and that's okay too. I want you to put away any sort of shame that's ever been attached to counseling or therapy, medication, if appropriate. And I want you to really focus in on being super strong on who you are, and, knowing that even the strongest possibility, it's the strongest possible response to your own path, right? So Miles Adcox of Onsite said, therapy is not an indicator of what's wrong with you, but it's what is right with you. In fact, therapy is a gift that people don't need, but deserve. And if you need that kind of help, if you need to make a hotline phone call, if you need to connect with your pastor, if you need to connect with resources because something just feels so heavy, I want you to do that. And if something just feels so heavy, maybe the first step that you need to do is to get on your knees and pray about it, because the good Lord wants you so badly to know him and to understand that your burdens are nothing, right? They are nothing, and he can lift them from you and make them nothing in your world. So let's stop dealing with the hurt and the burden and all of the heavy things in our life, and let's start asking for help. Let's start connecting with one another, and let's start making this a community and a space where we all feel loved, where we all feel connected, and where we don't have to carry the burden by ourselves, but we can, help the people around us help us, and we can help the people around us. If this has been helpful to you at all today, I hope and pray that it has been. But if it has been, I hope that you share it with someone else in this world. I hope that you tell someone else about Choose to Rise, and come back again next week, because, sharing is caring. I find all the good podcasts that I listen to and all the things that have helped me so much in my personal development journey from other friends and family who have been diving into this journey as well. And being a part of this team and this community of women who are encouraging each other and supporting one another and living life together has really just been a game changer. It has brought me more closely with my faith. It has helped me become the woman I am today. It has helped me out of dark places and into bright, shiny spaces. And it's also given me the confidence and the courage to support and help other people as well. So if that's something that you're in search of, if that's something you need, please reach out. Shoot me an email at chooseriseup@gmail.com. Let's talk. I just want to be the listening ear that you need. And so ask for help. Get better at asking for help, whether it's the little things in life or even the big things, because as we know with the compound effect, all the small choices add up to big results. And if you need more of anything, please reach out. If you love the show, please leave it a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, and also tell someone else about it. I hope to see you back here again next week, and I hope to talk to you then. Have a good one.